Here is a look at your gap and go trades for the week of February 3rd through the 7th. I will go over price targets on the 5-minute time frame, have a gap recap from January 27th through the 31st, and update the chart as well. Hi everyone, it's Dow on the Dow. First up is TSLY. We ended the week at $13.41, up 1.06%. To the north side from where we are takes us back to the middle of the trend and one level of resistance, and that is at roughly $13.62. I will mark that level out. Above that, $13.99, another level of resistance and another potential take profit area, $14.17. And above that, at 4 standard deviations, roughly $14.35. I do not anticipate we get to this level on Monday, but at the end of the week, definitely. We are still in an upward channel for TSLY. Now, to the south side takes us to roughly 25. That is one level of support and a potential buy-in area, and also a potential stop-loss area. 1308. And at -4 standard deviations, roughly 1288, another potential buy-in area and a potential stop-loss area. Depends on what side of the line you bought. And looking left, you can see the clear buy signal right here at -2 standard deviations, ripping all the way to resistance. I'm just going to point out the obvious. Sometimes we just don't get to that line and the calculations change, but close enough. And we start to sell off. And right now the RSI is looking like it's hooking. Let me move this out of the way. Hooking sideways and even turning down. So we could get to this level or this level and then bounce off of that. I want to delete one of these lines because it's too messy at this point. So this was the previous week. And now we're here. The week before was here, and then previously here. So I'm just going to delete this one, get it out of the way. And I'll leave that one for now. And let's clean up some of the gaps. So this gap formed. We gapped down, so I anticipate it to fill to the upside. And I will move this back where it belongs, right there. So that will take us to roughly $14.21 when it closes out. I am in this trade. This is a previous buy-in line for me and here as well. And I'm not sure if I have anything else. No, I think that's it. And I do have some shares here at 15.14. And what else is happening? This gap to the upside closed at roughly 14.04, and that closed out on the 23rd of January, so that is no longer in play. And what is happening here? Did this one? Nah, it didn't touch. So right about there. So I will clean that up. It looks like it touched, but if you make that larger, no, it did not. And right now I have the candles on the Heiken Ashi, but if you want to see the gaps that are formed, switch it over. All right, let's look at the next gap. This gap, oh, it should have been in, we gapped up. Oh, look, we gapped up and then closed to the downside. This is coded wrong. So notice we gapped up. So then we filled to the downside. So 1377 is where we closed out. So not to the upside. It started here and then closed out there. Now this one, oops. Again, I have no idea when the gaps will touch, and this one I needed to clean up as well. We gapped up, so that will fill to the downside, and we did it out of the gate on Tuesday, the 21st. Monday we were closed for business there, the holiday. And what is this? Now let me just delete that. And what is, oh, I shouldn't have deleted that. That was a price label. But it's got wonky here. I don't know what happened. I'll just move it over there. I did a video. Anytime you see the price label in purple for the year, I did a video. So now, this gap, we gapped up, so I anticipated it to fill to the downside. So this one is still in play. This one is still in play as well. And don't forget about that one. I think that is the end of it that I have noticed. If you see another one, please let me know. But right now, again, we're on an upward channel. And this one, what I might do is, for the lot that I bought at $12.92, I might set a sell limit at maybe $15.14 again, or maybe up here, $15.48. We'll see. And the yellow lines are previous middle of the trend lines that have turned now into resistance. And then notice how many times we touched this level here, but didn't quite close it out. Long ways off. Let's go to RIVN next. We ended the day at 12.56, up 0.40%. This is where we are. Above that takes us to roughly 12.65, 12.93, 13.07, and 13.21. To the south side, 12.37, 12.22, 12.08. See, there's a tiny gap here that closed, and this one closed also on Thursday, January the 30th, no longer in play. We've got this gap to the south side still. That will take us to 11.98. This gap is no longer in play, no longer a threat to our account, and that closed, we gapped up, it closed to the downside. Look, we went all the way up here, obviously got whipped around and then back down. So that's 12.50. And this one touched right here. And that took us to 13.27, went even higher, calculations changed, and then we gave it back. And what's happening here? We've got a gap to the north side at 14.05. All right, that's it. And the 1-year price target on this puppy is 14.76. Next one is Unilever. Let me move this so I don't get distracted. Unilever there. $57.79. I'm in this trade as well. $58.40. Look, all we're doing is retracing back to a level we've been, that we gave it all back. So the next one is roughly $58.86, $59.22. Move that. Support, $57.09. $56.74 and roughly $56.37. And what is going on with this gap to the south side? Still in play for this upcoming week. That will take us to $57.28. Okay, this gap needs to be cleaned up. Remember, from the previous week, all I do is I just extend it. I have no idea when it's going to touch. I anticipate it to touch because of the gap fill. So this one opened up on Monday, December 30th. We gapped down, which means whenever it fills to the upside, and it did right here on Friday, January the 24th. So congrats if you went short to go back up again. Delete that and that, all right? And what happened here at this 56.91 level? So we touched right there on Monday the 27th, delete, no longer in play. That opened up on the 22nd. And then this, wow, there are many gaps to clean up here. Oops. It's this one right here is where I need to grab. See that? It touched out of the gate. We gapped down, so it filled to the upside on Tuesday the 21st. So here we gapped down. So basically, it filled when it did back up right there. So that's done. Took a while. And that one touched there, and this one touched also. And then this little gap, a little threat there, but what is this? Oh, that's another gap. Okay. So, oh, that's done. So we got a gap here that touched, and then this gap, we gapped down, and then we will fill to the upside, and it did right there on the 16th of January. So we gapped up, and then, oh, sorry, no, we gapped and filled it. No, wait a minute, right here, sorry. See, right this level right here. So we gapped up. It's hard to see. There's that gap right there. And then it touched right there. So that's done. That took us to the south side at 54.76. I have some at 53.79. My goodness. And then this tiny gap here. But right now we are in an upward channel, and this gap still in play to the downside at 55.70. And then we have this one as well. Okay, let's move on. I got to figure out when I want to get out of Unilever. So let me just do something really quick. So from here, roughly, to this next level, oh, maybe at 10%, maybe 59.50-ish. 36 there, but okay. Oh, the 1-year price target is 62.79. Boeing, we made some money here, and then we gave it all back. All right, 176.52. Resistance is at roughly 176.77. And note, last week we were here, we didn't make dramatic moves for the middle of the trend in the median here. So I will see, this was the last one. So this fell through, ripped up all the way to resistance, sold off. This was a support line here, bounced through this, and bounced off of that, basically, the wick. Close enough. Okay, so that was last week. This week, I'm just going to delete it. It's too close to each other. I don't want to see it. That just gives me a reference point if we go sideways. This could be a support or resistance, as well as this line. This is where price will kind of hover, but if we go sideways, I'll anticipate it to go this direction for the middle of the trend. 183.04, 186.19, and don't hold your breath, 189.24. And if it does, it will give it back. Price will give it back. 170.60, 167.45, 164.43. So what is happening? This, oh, look at this. So we gapped up. So eventually I anticipated to fill to the downside, and it did right here. Gave it back. That was roughly 171.25, went down a little bit more and then ripped up. This used to be the middle of the trend. That has turned on the way down. When we go down, the support, it fell through here, ripped through, and then bounced off of that. So this is no longer a threat to our account. 171.26 is done. And then, oops, Command Z if you do something wrong and you want to reset it. So what happened here? We had a gap open on Tuesday. Oops, I forgot to mark that. Tuesday, January 28th. Go in and clean that up. So what happened on this one? Oh, this one, oh, that's even way back. Okay, let's clean up this one first. This one was, it opened up on the 27th of December and finally closed right here, up here at 180.70. So let's delete that. This is no longer in play. Oops, wrong thing. That one. That one, okay. And let's see here. So, what did I say already? 189.24. I've lost, I got sidetracked. 186.19, 183.10-ish to the south side, back to a place we've been before, 170.62, 167.42, and roughly 164.37. Oh, we've got this landmine to the south side as well as this landmine. Not in the channel, not in the zone just yet. Something to be aware of to the south side. Let's clean up this one. This touched right there at roughly 175.25, so that's done. Oops. Cleaned up. And to the north side, we have this gap to look forward to, but right now we're slowly drifting down after giving it up here. RSI turning up, it looks like. So we could go a little bit more and then bounce up. Obviously, it depends on what time frame you are playing. The 1-year price target is 194.08. Is that 08? Yeah, which represents a 9.95% return from where we are. I'm in this trade for my mother as well. All right, 76.90 is where we ended for the week with Nike. This is off. There. Here's one level, was 77.44. 78.97. I will delete this one, just get rid of it. Okay, if we are lucky enough to get to this level, just retracing to an area we've been, that used to be the middle of the trend, and now it is resistance at 80.15, 81.29, 82.03. And one level to the south side, 76.66 and 75.88. Now why do oh yeah, this, I've been tracking this for a long time. My goodness. So this is where we are headed, the target. Last week we were here. So you can see there's been an increase, an incremental increase here. Price is going up on the 5. Then we've got this gap to the downside at 71 bucks. Not in the channel, not in the zone, something to be aware of. And what happened here? So we gapped up, then we filled to the downside, and we touched right there. Let me clean that up. All right, I think pretty much everything else is cleaned up. Ooh, let me just move this so that Look at this. That will take us to roughly 94.41. Don't hold your breath. Long ways off. Not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close, but a nice upward channel momentum there. And we're at support. So I anticipate, yeah, we could hit a little bit down here-ish and then bounce back up. Oh my goodness, I've got to extend that even more. It's been a long time since I've looked at Nike to the upside. That this was way up here because we were way down there. And yeah, I'll clean this up later. The 1 year price target is 84.48. Estee Lauder. We are at one level of support to the north side, 85.20, 86.81, 87.67, 88.52 to the south side. Move this out of the way. 82.73 and 81.92. We've got a gap to the south side taking us to 82.47. And if we do get to this area, I will anticipate a bounce off this line, but if we bleed out, then off of this line. And then we've got this to deal with. My chair is squeaking. I've got to get some what is it? The little oil. I pretend, I always call that oil as a joke, 1040 easy. And because I say it the wrong way, yeah. WD-40, that's it, WD-40. Not 1040 easy. All right. Oh, look, when I looked at this on the 20th, it was 74. On January the 3rd, it was 72. All right, I think that's it. Just looking at stuff there. And the 1 year price target is now 107 to the upside. We're at 83.43. The average analysts forecast 80.16 and even down to 61. If we get down to 61, I will definitely buy it this time. But look, we've got many gaps to get through. All right, the next one is NEO. Hit Option R to resize this. Okay, we're at 432, and that's basically, we're at support. Look, we're gonna bounce here. 443, 453, 459, and to a level we've been to before, roughly 463, 64-ish. Oh, let me mark out the middle of the trend. I'll delete this one. This is an old middle of the trend here. And this, again, is to the south side, 424 and roughly 422. This gap is still in play to the south side, taking us to 423. And yeah, if I wanted to get into this trade, I'd play conservatively, and I would do a penny above 422, excuse me, 424, or you can go lower too, but 420 there. You can use the grid line, 415 if you wanted to. Some people play off of that. So we've got this nasty little gap here, taking us down to 395. This one is still in play also. I mean, NEO is just like landmines everywhere. But we got to close it out. We got to rip off the Band-Aid, be done with it. And then this one, oh, this one is done, taking us down to 417, which I never cleaned up. Where did that start? That started on, goodness, September 4th of 2024. I've been tracking this for weeks and weeks and weeks, 61 weeks to be exact, over a year now. And it touched right there. I've become an expert in NEO. Technical analysis. What else? I think that's done, that's done. Anything without a price label means I've cleaned it up as well. All right. Oh, going back. Look, I never cleaned up. Oh yeah, that's all cleaned up because that's a line right there. All right, I'm done with that. But, oh, look, to the upside. I never, look at that. That touched to the upside. This is why if you're a master at just one or two tickers, you can see and play all of these gaps. But I have a million tickers I either trade or watch. So it's not good, especially if you are just starting out. I feel like I can handle that load, but it gets too crazy, okay? This is all gaps to the upside that we are not even there yet. It's one gap at a time. So the first gap, did I already give you price target? Oh yeah, I must have, because I give you price targets and then I go to the gaps. So we've got this gap taking us to 451. That's within the 2 and -2 standard deviations. So I think that'll get wiped out on Monday. And then the next gap to look forward to, possibly by the end of the week, will take us to 469. Well, we're so close, we could just, well, wait a minute. We're down here. Not for Monday, not up here, but for the end of the week up there, yeah. And then this, and then this. Okay, the next one is, oh wait, did I mark out the middle? Yeah, I did. Let's go to Intel. I know, look at all these. Just ignore all of the horizontal lines. All I'm looking for is the red, white, and blue lines, and then the middle of the trend. So this right here is now one level of resistance. And I bought in one time at 1980, and I've sold out, I think, up here somewhere. I'll show it to you if I can find it, or another day when I take a look at this thing again in the big picture. I've got too many to go through, although this might be the last one, is it? Nope, I got SOFI after that. Okay, middle of the trend. These are all areas we've been to before, as you can see. Just a visual cue there. This will take us back to 2159. Oops. 2242 and roughly 2322 should we bounce up. But right now we're in a downward channel, and levels to the south side now, 1834, 1752, and roughly 1672. We had earnings on Thursday. We reported $14.26 billion. The estimate was only 13.83. I know a lot of people were poo-pooing this ticker as my voice cracks. And look at that. They're making billions of dollars. And don't forget it. If you hear bad news, it could be a sign to buy. That just depends on your outlook. I'm a contrarian. I don't think the stock is going anywhere. This company is going anywhere. All right. Fact of the day. Analysts have lowered their price targets for Intel. Evercore ISI to $22. Stifle, I don't know. Nicholas to 21. Wow. Okay, what is the one-year price target? Look at all this red. This is ripe to go to the upside, but it could take a while. 22.34. Back 22.34. I've marked out 22.33 because that was an area we have been to. So that is, I don't know, we're going down right now. But should we reverse course? What is this? Oops. Oh, look at this. We've got this gap. That will take us to 2152. Then we have this gap. That will take us to, excuse me, 2185. And then this bottom area, 2199. Poor Intel, just bleeding out. Not keeping up with, oops, the other semiconductor tickers. I feel like I haven't really paid attention, but ever since Apple came out with their own chips, because I have a Mac, I feel like Intel just tanked. I've got to research that. All right, so those are your levels. Ignore all of, again, the horizontal lines. So all I'm doing for this week, for Monday, is here and here, basically. So we're going to stay within this channel, and if we continue to go down, price will rest along this line, and then many levels of resistance and support in between. Next one, and the final one, is SOFI. I'm in this one as well, both for myself and for my mom. Oh, I'll just show you. Last week I did sell some while I was sleeping, so it never got to adjust my sell limit order. But I did get an 18% return, but look, it went up even more. Wah, wah. Sometimes it's like you want to set the limit, and then if you do, sometimes you get the high point at resistance. That was a return of 26%. I could have gone from 18 to 26%. All right, enough of wish in one hand and you know what in the other. Okay, but you know what? Nobody ever went broke taking profits. 1636. Well, do people like to say that because they got to justify what they did? I don't know. Okay. I could be one of those people. All right, the middle of the trend takes us back to 1636 to a place we've been to before. I will just delete the old one just to avoid some confusion. Well, it's not confusing for me and very probably disturbing to other people, but you have to trade your own style because it will never make sense to you otherwise. I cannot trade the other way. 1807, 1893, 1982. This is just, to me, black and white and in my face about what I need to do. 1463, 1377, and 1291. I'm going to act more like a computer, making everything methodical. No emotions. Emotions wreck you. And then we've got some other things to talk about down there. Now we'll get there when we get there. And I think that's it. This gap takes us down to 1299. This one takes us to roughly 1142. I'll mark that out later. But right here, this upcoming week, still in play. I think this could close out if we continue our trajectory going down. And then after that, it will be, oops, too many gaps. Well, if you don't play the gaps and you just play the standard deviations, that'll wipe out the gaps anyway. So let's just do that right there, taking us down to roughly 1408. Ooh, boy. All right, and I want to show you something. I was just poking around on a website that you may or may not know, Trump area. This isn't what I wanted to show you, but I saw this and I'm laughing. In push for diversity, military canine units to give equal opportunities to Chihuahuas. This cracked me up because I have a friend that had 4 of them. She no longer has any. But all they did was sit on her lap, bark like crazy. You know, Chihuahuas, they love to bark. I don't know what they're barking at, what goes through their mind, but it cracks me up. But look at this cute German Shepherd with its tongue hanging out. So cute. But this is what I wanted to show you. This killed me. Not this outfit. This. Look at this meme. This is BLM stealing millions. I think there are estimates that they wrecked the destroyed buildings and everything else worth $2 billion worth of property damage. Absolutely disgusting. And thanks to COVID, they got away with wearing those masks. Everyone should be stripped of those masks, except for, I do understand when people wear it to Walmart, and I get it because they're sick and they're afraid. And I personally like it when other people wear it because I don't want your germs. So thank you for wearing it in that sense. But when you use it to commit a crime, shame on you. Disgusting. All right. So this guy here, Sam Bankman-Fried, he stole $11 billion. And then this guy stole Bernie Madoff, whatever his name is, Madoff, stole $65 billion. And then look at this. This is Congress. And the caption says, stealing trillions. Yeah, trillions. There should be term limits. It's disgusting how these people get insider information, do whatever they want, subvert the law, think they're above the law. I mean, they need term limits. I don't care what the pros are. In my mind, there are none. 8 years is enough. Let's just cap it at 8 years. Just like my HOA at Desert Creek. We need HOA term limits. There's a lady that's been on the board for 20 years, and it is wrong. Nobody cares enough to change it right now, but I'm going to let everyone know. That is my mission. I'm all about term limits. It's disgusting what these people can do. All right, that is my rant for the day. Back to the tickers here. If there is something you want me to go over, please let me know, and have a fantastic trading week.